Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Candy Shop. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this with a friend. If you're listening on our podcast, Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, be sure to also subscribe, leave a review, and share this with a friend as well. So I am super excited for today's episode. We are going to be talking to Divij Vaswani, if I'm pronouncing his name. Beautiful name correctly.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely. He is one of the contestants on HBO Max's upcoming, I believe it's now premiered,
Live, yeah.
reality show called FBoy, which I think we all can relate to at one point or another in our lives. So without further ado, welcome, Divij. How are you? Welcome.
I'm doing good. It's an exciting time. We got the next 4 episodes dropping tonight, so very stoked.
Ooh, so this is perfect timing for you guys. Perfect timing. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know that you're a digital media executive, you're a podcaster, YouTuber, so you definitely understand this digital world that we're in. And you're also an entrepreneur, and you're working with some of the biggest influencers and names in the game. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. So yeah, my life's been kind of weird. It's been all over the place. Grew up in Orange County, moved to LA, went to USC. Been starting businesses for the last decade. A lot of them failed. Most of them failed, quite frankly. Went from losing, just losing thousands of dollars to, just messes of businesses. But finally, about 2 years ago, founded a company called Divij Media. And basically, we're connecting some of the biggest brands in the world with some of the biggest influencers and celebrities in the world. And now we've grown to a team of 20. And I think, we'll probably get acquired in the next year or two. And business has been great. And, I stumbled upon this opportunity to do FBoy Island. And I was like, fuck it, let's do it. So here I am.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, I just wanted to talk about, I love that you're being transparent and honest that you've failed and you've lost thousands of dollars and you've had to restart. So do you want to talk a little bit about resiliency? Because I think that's really what has gotten you to the point that you're at now. I think a lot of us think it's an overnight success thing, or that this game is really easy, or that, we only see the curated Instagram feeds. We don't see the grit that goes behind it. So do you want to talk a little bit about your mindset and resiliency that kind of put you in the position to be able to receive this massive opportunity with FBoy and HBO Max? Because if you had given up, or if you just didn't think that you were good enough, you wouldn't have been in the position to receive this opportunity. So do you want to talk about that a little bit?
I love this question. Yes, because you know what? The stuff you see on Instagram, you go to my Instagram, you see the nice cars, you see the watches, you see all the cool stuff, but you don't see from 14 to 24, the 10 years of me sitting at my desk, working and trying to figure out businesses and running to the post office to ship out products, the sweating, just the crazy stuff, right? Like the behind the scenes, you don't see that. And I think entrepreneurship is the loneliest career path you can ever choose, right? You're starting something from scratch that you only yourself believe in, and you have to kind of just figure it out. So for me, it took literally almost 8 years of different businesses, from party promoting to selling. I was selling mystery boxes online to, I sold fake watches at one point. So just doing a bunch of different things. And I kind of over time honed my skill of selling, which no matter what you're doing in life, whether you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, everything you're doing is sales technically. Right. So I just kind of figured it out, and I just met the right people at the right time. And it kind of just, this snowball effect. But I think that the key is you can't give up. You just got to keep going, and you only get what you ask for. So you got to just be vocal and you get what you want. And with the reality show, it was I'd been auditioning in COVID. I think I auditioned for 5 or 6 different shows, and none of them stuck. And finally, when I was about to give up, I ended up getting a DM saying, "Hey, we got this new show called FBoy Island, come do it." So, but the other thing about that is the only reason I got it was because I've been active on social. I've been posting pictures of myself. I've been in the gym working out, trying to perfect myself. So you just got to keep doing things, I guess.
No, I love that. I love how you say like you don't get what you ask, you won't get what you don't ask for, which is so true. Like a closed mouth doesn't get fed. And you also, I love how you were saying you were putting in the work, you were posting on Instagram, you were going into the gym, you were doing all of those things. So you were really setting yourself up for that yes, even though you've heard like all the no's before. And when you were auditioning, were those for reality shows or were those for acting? Like what type of auditioning were you doing?
Yeah, great question. So most of them were for reality shows. I did a bunch. I was like taping myself doing yoga, like just a bunch of funny videos. I've been posting on TikTok for a while, so I'd submit a lot of those videos. But what the thing that people don't know about me is I actually was an actor before. So I did Victorious. I did some things for BuzzFeed. But it's, again, 8 years of going to auditions in person and trying to figure out acting. Didn't really lead to anything big. I think the biggest thing I did was Victorious, but it was a very small role.
Mhm.
But it shows you, like, if you just go out and you audition and you promote yourself, like, you can get onto an HBO show. It's your effort. That's all it is.
Exactly. It's your effort. And I also like what you were saying about it's all about sales. Like, even if you are a doctor or a lawyer or X, Y, and Z, you're still selling yourself as the expert in the space, or you're selling yourself as the person that they want to trust with this. So it's the same thing. You are selling yourself as the person or the persona that was right for this particular project. So you said that you got a DM, which I think is kind of everyone in
Yeah.
our world like ultimate goal, just to be like, hey, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, and you get this DM from this executive or casting, and they're like, we want you. So after you got the DM, what was that casting process like?
Yeah, great question. Very long, very strenuous. So a whole lot of Zoom calls, kind of like this, just kind of chatting with different people. You got to be in your living room yelling like a crazy person, being wild. I would drink a lot of like Bang Energies to get like hyped up for the the interviews and stuff. So it's just like it's you in your apartment. It's you in your apartment, being in your zone and just like being yourself. And for the audition process, it was like I think 8 to 10 rounds of talking to producers, to the network, to casting directors, like very long and strenuous. And there's that big unknown of you don't even know if you're actually going to get on the show, right? But I think that uncertainty, like in anything you do, it's going to be there. So you just got to kind of fight through it.
Absolutely. And so for the show, it's called F-Boy, which I think we all
It's FBoy Island. Yeah.
F-Boy Island. Yes. I'm sorry. F-Boy Island. So tell us a little bit about the show, and do you fall under which category? Are you more of an F-boy or are you more of a nice guy? And I'll let you answer that, but then my actual question is there really a difference? Because I actually think a lot of nice boys are just F-boys in sheep's clothing. So I don't know what you think about that.
You're asking some bomb questions. I went onto the show. Look, I'm 24, right? Like I'm very selfish. I'm a Leo. I got a big ass lion tatted on my arm. Like I'm
Ooh.
very, I'm very in my zone. And I'd say I've been an F boy. Like I date around. Like I'll be talking to multiple women at the same time. But what people don't know is before the show, I was actually in a 6-year relationship. So I know how to commit. I know how to be in a committed relationship and do that whole thing. Unfortunately, she wasn't the one for me, so I had to get out of it. And then FBoy Island came kind of like the perfect time. But in my elimination, I say, I came here as an F boy, but the network doesn't show the second part of my sentence, which is, but I'm leaving as a nice guy. And the reason I said that was because, when you're on an island by yourself, no phone, no nothing, you learn a lot about yourself, right? So I learned that I do love women, I do respect women, and I don't want to be that guy that is like, part of my friends, but I don't want to fuck girls over. Like I just don't, So I think what's funny is I think I'm going to find love on reality TV, and I hope to be the first Indian Bachelor at some point. I think that'll come true. So I think I'm a nice guy, and I do think there are nice guys, but everyone's got their F boy or F girl percentage in them, So yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Well, I love that. Well, I'm a big believer in speaking things into existence. So we're speaking it now. Exclusive. Divij will be the first Indian Bachelor. I'm so excited for you.
It's happening. I promise you it's happening.
It's happening. Yes. But with that, So for being an F boy, like to me, the way I define an F boy isn't so much someone who wants to date around or not commit or wants to sleep with multiple people. It's more of the facade that there's more to it than just being friends with benefits. Like to me, an F boy is the guy that's like, oh, like I like you so much, and like I would beat you, but like I got this, and this, but like you're the one, and da 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 da. Like they kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like they put this front on that the booty call is more meaningful than just
Yeah.
booty call. And that to me is what makes an F boy an F boy. And then the nice guys are the ones who kind of mold and pretend to like love your poetry, or they want to walk your dog, or they want to hear you talk about your friend's drama all day long, when in reality they don't really care, they just want to get in the sheets. So that's why I was kind of saying like F boys and nice boys are just like two sides of the same coin. Now, did you find
Yeah.
at all, did you kind of find some of the nice guys were kind of really F boys in sheep's clothing?
I think the way you just said it is so accurate. Like I've been in kind of both positions. The first is like, you want to have sex with someone and you're just going to say all these things to kind of reel them in, and I think the problem with that is you're setting these crazy expectations, and then obviously that leads to heartbreak, right? So I think the F boys are exactly what you said. It's the people who they're just doing too much. Like you're saying these things to make them believe something, but really it's not true, right? So you're a liar, basically. And then on the other side of the coin, the nice guys kind of have the same intention. It's like, I still want to have sex with this person, or I want to do this or this, but they're approaching it in a different way, which is they're pretending to care, right? So I think you're 100% spot on. I think
Yeah.
maybe all guys are F boys. I don't know.
No, it's not. It's like you want the genuine guy. You want a guy who's genuine with you. Like if you just want this to be a hookup, friends with benefits, hit it and quit it, say that so
Yeah.
that I know what the expectations are. Or if you don't like all of these things and you're just pretending to like them to get in the sheets, like just be your authentic self and let's see if we're compatible. Like we don't have to like the same things to be compatible in a couple, but if you're lying about who you are, that's where the problem is, right? So we want like a genuine men. And on the same token, like some girls are savages. Like Rihanna's let us know, like I'm a savage, like F your white horse in a carriage, like
Yeah.
that's her. So there's F boys and there's savage girls. Were any of the girls low-key savages where they kind of came on the show, wanted to pretend to be this like, I'm a princess looking for my Prince Charming, blah, 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 blah. But low-key maybe had some savage girl tendencies.
I'll be honest. I think Nakia, Sarah, and CJ are all savages in kind of their own way. But CJ, it was the opposite. She was a high key savage. So she came in hot. Like she came in like, don't fuck with me. If you fuck with me, you're out, you know? So yeah, definitely some F girls on the show. And the women had all the power here in this, and not just women always have power, but in this situation, they could do with us whatever they wanted. And unfortunately I got cut because I said some things about CJ, so I learned I learned it the hard way. But yeah, don't talk shit on a woman, especially to your friends or anybody for that matter.
Was it to other guys or to other girls? Because both is wrong, but one is more wrong.
I talked shit about CJ to one of the guys on the show, and he ended up telling her because he's a snake.
In that situation, 100% he's this snake. Because if you said it to a girl, I would understand it. Because it's almost like girl code. It's just like, it's really weird for a guy to talk shit to a girl about another girl. To me, that's psychological warfare where it's like, you're the one I actually like. So let's talk crap about this girl. But if you're doing it to a guy, that's just sort of like
me venting about how I feel.
Yeah, it's like venting and you're talking, and then for him to sort of betray you, because I do think there should be a bro code too, not in a like a misogynistic way, but just in like a, hey dude, I'm talking to you about something. You don't turn around and go tell her. And honestly, if I were CJ, it would make me feel a type of way about that guy more so than you, because I was like, well, you're proving you're not trustworthy, and you're proving you will stab someone in the back to get what you want. So if you treat him that way, it's a matter of time before you treat me that way, because you are who you are. So I would actually, if I were CJ, I would have been like, he needs to go because loyalty means something. You know what I mean?
Yes. And you know what? She kept Chris to the basically to the end, and she didn't even confront me about what I said. You know, like there was no conversation with her about it. She just let me go. So it is what it is. You know, it wasn't meant to be.
She had no conversation with you about it. She just took this person's word as Bible.
Didn't even approach me.
Okay, Miss CJ, I'm talking to you, sweetheart. We have to learn healthy communication skills.
Yes.
So when you hear something third hand, second hand, before you internalize it and say that is what the truth of this situation is, you want to have direct communication with the source. So you should like, oh, Divij, I'm rooting for you because it's like that. I feel like you got screwed over because she should have went to you and talked to you about it, because who knows how he went and spun it, who knows like what tone and twist he put on it, and obviously, like, yes, you want to go there for love, but it is a competition, it is a show, there is strategy, you want to win as well, like that's just a part of it. So to me, I feel like she got played, but she kind of played herself. And on the same token, like, I know you do want to find love on reality TV. It's a good lesson, or maybe she's not the type of person for you. Like maybe someone who is more mature and is more healthy communication and kind of gives you the benefit of the doubt, at least a chance to like defend yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And in this situation particularly, she obviously didn't owe me anything because she didn't know who I was, right? So I don't blame her for it, but you're 100% right. Like in any healthy relationship, you know, if I'm dating you and my friend comes up to you and say, hey, Divij said this, and you just dump me, it doesn't make sense. You're probably going to be like, Divij, like, what did you say this? You know? So it is what it is. But I think this whole FBoy Island experience was almost like training wheels for what's to come, you know, because I do think I'm going to be doing more TV, frankly. And I hope it's The Bachelor.
It will be The Bachelor. It will be. And speaking of that, what did you learn about yourself while shooting FBoy Island? Like, was there something about you that you didn't realize that you either needed to learn about yourself, or an old wound that you needed to heal when it came to finding love? Or, you know, were you stronger than you thought you were? Like, what were some things that you discovered about yourself during this journey?
Yeah, you know what? I could go on and on. Like there's a whole list of things that I learned. I think the biggest thing, you know, when you're on an island by yourself for 2 months, and you're by yourself in the sense that, you know, if you're not filming, you're kind of just in your room. You don't have the opportunity to go outside or like do anything. So you're in your head. You're in your head a lot. You're doing things like yoga, meditation, journaling, you know, writing down thoughts. And I think I learned that, you know, I found success at a pretty young age, kind of financially with business. And I realized that I was leaning very heavily on that in terms of showing people who I was. So, you know, I was showing off the cars, the watches, all the fancy stuff, but I wasn't displaying me, Divij, you know? So I learned that I need to really look more inward and stop caring about what other people's thoughts are about me or what I have, you know? So I think I'm at a place now where I've humbled down. You know, I was kind of a douche before, but I'm keeping it chill. And I think the things that are important to me are family, friends. You know, obviously financials are important, but it's not the end all be all. There's no difference between making $1 million and $3 million if you're unhappy, you know? So I think that's what I learned. And in terms of love life and dating, I think I need somebody who's going to emotionally and intellectually stimulate me even more so than the physical. And again, maybe I'll find them on The Bachelor one day. I don't know, but I haven't found it yet.
Well, you might. Did you learn anything about what you don't want in a partner versus what you do want in a partner? Because a part of the journey is, yes, learning about yourself, but on the other hand, the part of the journey is learning about what you want in a partner as well. Like that's something I had to learn when it came to dating. Like, is this the person that I want to be with? More so than I think particularly as women, we come from the place of, I want to be good enough for him. I want to be chosen by him. I want him to pick me. But then I had to realize, no, is this a person that I want to choose? So did you learn anything around that about the type of person that you ultimately want to choose for yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I think I've kind of figured out what the values are that I think are important to me that the other person would have. Um, things like as simple as like not being rude or like, again, the CJ situation, like communication, like those things I think are very important. Loyalty is huge. I've been disloyal in past relationships, and I've started to realize and kind of put myself in the other person's shoes, and it sucks. It's painful, and I don't ever want to have to go through being cheated on or even be like cheat on anybody ever again. So I think just loyalty, honesty, and communication are probably what I'm looking for. And obviously, nice ass and all that stuff is cool, but it's not as important. It's not as important to me at this point.
Yeah, we can always get personal trainers and things like that. We're fine. But you
Exactly.
can't soul and personality and mindset and mental capacity.
Exactly. Like someone that you don't want to wake up and hit them with a frying pan. I think you're in a good place.
Not a frying pan.
You'd be surprised. I've dated women where I'm like, I'll wake up and I'm like, if I had a frying pan, I'd smack. I'm kidding. I would never actually do that.
I know. I know you're kidding. But along those lines, was there anything that you did on FBoy Island for HBO Max, which is such an awesome thing?
Yeah.
Anything looking back on it that not necessarily regret, but either learned from or would have done differently if you could go back and do it again?
Yeah. I would have beeline straight to CJ and try to have built a relationship with her. I went for Sarah when I was on the show.
Mhm.
And Sarah we're not compatible. And I think if I had gone for CJ, like if you look historically at the girls that I've dated, they kind of all look like CJ, kind of have the same attitude. So I probably would have beeline for her. Cool thing is she lives down the street, so I can always just,
Oh, so maybe it's FBoy Island part 2.
You never know. And if there's an F girl island, I better be a contestant on there. I'd love to do that.
Savage Island. I love it. I love it. So for everyone out there who might be aspiring to be an entrepreneur, be a podcaster, YouTuber, work with some of the amazing people that you work with, act and do all of those great things, what advice would you give some people who might not feel confident enough to put themselves out there?
Yeah, it's easy. You got to work on yourself first. I mean, take a break for a few months and just go on a retreat, go do yoga in Wisconsin or like go for a hike in, I don't know, Maine, like do things that are outside of your comfort zone, and you'll start to learn a lot about kind of who you are as a person. And you got to solidify yourself internally before you can be external and like, add value to society. So you got to get your mental straight. So I would do as simple as like a solid morning routine, like yoga, meditation. Like this morning when I woke up, I hit the foam roll. We did a little bit of Theragun, a little bit of yoga. Like these things are important to do consistently. And I'd say just, work on yourself, and then you can start to, execute and do things to actually achieve the goals that you have.
I love it. And speaking of goals, we know that you're going to be the first Bachelor. We have that in the back. But in addition to that, what are some things that you're looking forward to? What are some of your new goals? Like, do you have anything coming up that we should be looking out for? Obviously, we're all going to binge FBoy Island on HBO Max. Some new episodes are dropping tonight, so we'll be all watching that. But what does the future look like for you?
I think a little bit of more reality TV is going to be in the future. I think selling my company is probably going to happen. My birthday's coming up next week, so I'm going to have a massive party, which I'm stoked for.
Order that prices.
Yeah, honestly, it's crazy. But what else? I mean, music. I'm dropping a music video next week.
Music. Wow. Yeah. Tell us about your music.
Yeah, it's my first single called Rockstar. Kind of like hip hop kind of vibes. So that's coming out next week. Podcast. We're gonna have all the girls and all the cast on the podcast. So yeah, just a lot of fun things, and just probably gonna buy a new car. So excited for that too.
I'll be watching on Instagram. I'll go follow. Yeah, definitely. And for everybody watching, all of Divij's Instagrams and hashtags and handles and links will all be in the description box or the show notes, depending on if you're listening on the podcast or watching on YouTube. So if you want to connect with him, everything is linked below. I highly suggest that you do. Definitely some ab body motivation going on. So I've seen the photos. So yeah, so definitely follow, give him a shout out, and send him some love. Yeah. So I one last question or so.
Yeah.
Did you find any friends on FBoy Island? Like, I know the premise is, you know, the girls, they're on the island. They want to separate the FBoys from the nice guys and find love. I always love, to me, the best part of reality shows, even if they're sort of these like love shows, is the bond and the friendships that happens between the women or between the men. So was there any guy that you gravitated towards and you guys kind of are still friends? Obviously not the CJ Snake guy, but someone else who, you know, you were able to find a friendship with, because I think that's important too. I think having that support system and just having friends is also a part of the journey.
Yeah, I think you took it out of my mouth. Like, Chris is complete trash. So definitely not Chris. But you know what's crazy is before going into the show as an entrepreneur, like, again, as I mentioned before, it's a very lonely journey. And I've had friends and I've always had my like tight circles, but I think from this show, I've literally found my friends that I'm going to have for the rest of my life. So like Charlie, Peter, Israel, pretty much everybody else. Like, I think we're going to have the bond, you know. We went through this experience together that no one else can relate to, obviously. So we've built connections on such a deep level that I'm very grateful for. Yeah. So big shouts to Charlie for sure. Charlie's my guy. He helped me get back in shape.
Yay. I love it. I love it. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Divij. This was awesome. I know that you said you didn't get chosen, but still wishing you luck. And we're all going to watch, and we are looking forward to seeing what you do next. So for everyone listening, that's right, hit that subscription box, hit that show notes, and give him a follow, give him a shout out. Watch FBoy Island on HBO Max. 4 new episodes are dropping tonight, so catch up on what you've missed and then binge all the new episodes, and we will be following you. Thank you so much, Divij. And if you guys like this fun interview, be sure to subscribe, follow, comment below, hit your girl up at Candy Washington. And until next time, I love you and be well. Bye.
Thank you, Candy. Appreciate it.